As shown in all the trailers for Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of changes have been made to the land of Hyrule, with the addition of new towers, shrines, and even large chasms of Malice leading to the underground of the kingdom, which when looked at from a thematic point of view, each represent a virtue of the Triforce, the Malice Chasms being power, the Sheikah Towers being wisdom, and the Zonai Shrines being courage. So, in this video, we will place all of these new landmarks onto the surface map of Hyrule to get a clear picture of the world of Tears of the Kingdom on a trailer by trailer analysis. I won't cover those in the Sky Islands, as this is just to show the differences seen on the surface of the kingdom that we explored in Breath of the Wild. Before we begin jotting down the towers, shrines and other new structures, it is important to mention that the villages, stables and structures that we visited in Breath of the Wild will all be in the same locations. But we also know that new villages will also be added into the game, as stated in the official Tears of the Kingdom website. One of said villages appears to be located close to the Sacred Ground ruins, as seen in this map of a commercial for Tears of the Kingdom, which also appears to have been changed quite dramatically, having a large moat. Aside from this one, we have not yet seen more villages, but do expect there will be more elsewhere in Hyrule. We also catch a glimpse of new lakes in the gameplay presentation for Tears of the Kingdom, next to the Hylia River. With those out of the way, let's begin by placing down the new iterations of the Sheikah Towers, which appear to be the replacements of those from Breath of the Wild, serving not only as vantage points to see your surroundings, but also as warp points and to reveal sections of the surface's map. In the first official trailer, we can see only one of these towers, atop the peak of Lindor's brow. It can also be seen on this shot of Link riding Epona on the road in the front of the Sacred Ground ruins. This tower is close to where the Richland Tower from Breath of the Wild once stood, so this must be this game's version of the Ridgelands Regional Tower. In the second official trailer, we can see two towers on both sides of this shot of Hebra. One is atop this cliff past Kolami Bridge, while the other is found on Pikida Stonegrove, replacing the Frost Talus. The tower found past Kolami Bridge appears to be the equivalent to the Tabantha Tower from the last game, while the tower replacing the Frost Talus appears to be this game's version of the Hebra Tower from Breath of the Wild. On this shot of Hateno Village, we can see a blue glowing tower in the distance, found on the Rabella wetlands, replacing the Black Hinox. This same tower can also be seen in this latest shot of Link skydiving, as well as in the start of the gameplay demonstration when Link is seen paragliding towards the Sky Island. As it is found within the Faron region, this tower must be replacing Breath of the Wild's Faron Tower. The next one we see is atop Mount Lanayru, on this shot of Link facing off against these moblins on the location where the Rukon Mak Shrine was located. This tower can also be briefly seen in this shot of Link skydiving, as well as the start of the gameplay presentation with Link atop this horse, and when he's atop the Sky Island, where Naydra is also visible flying in the sky. It is also seen in the third trailer, in a shot of Hateno Village. Due to the proximity of this tower to Hateno Village, this must be this game's version of the Hateno Tower from Breath of the Wild. On the shot of Link atop a Sky Island, we can see another tower in the slopes of Death Mountain, south of Gorombi Lake, seen briefly on this shot of Link shield surfing on a railway. It can also be spotted on the third official trailer. As this tower is located on Death Mountain, this must be the Tower of the Eldin region, replacing the Eldin Tower from the prior game, being close to its original location. As Link is seen skydiving in this shot, we can see a tower in the exact location as the Lanayru Tower, atop a small mountain close to Sora's River. To the left of this shot, we can see yet another of these towers, located at the base of the Dueling Peaks, replacing a small burnt village, as well as one of the final shots of the trailer. It can also be spotted at the start of the gameplay presentation, as well at the very end when Link is pushed off the island. It is later seen again in the beginning shot of the third trailer, as well as later when Link is atop the stone bird glider. This tower would be the equivalent to Breath of the Wild's Lake Hylia Tower. On the second official trailer, we can also see another tower on the small plateau next to Lake Colomo, which can also be seen on the end shot of Link skydiving in the gameplay presentation. This tower can also be seen at the start of the third official trailer, as well as in the shot of Link skydiving, and to the right in this short video found in the Japanese website. This tower appears to be equivalent to the Great Plateau Tower, only this time around it appears it will cover the entirety of the lower half of central Hyrule, instead of only covering the Great Plateau. Another of these towers can be seen on this shot of Link riding a Zonai car, and on the final shot of the second trailer, located near Sahasra Slope, where two Guardian Stalkers roam the area. This can later be seen in the final shot of the gameplay presentation as well. We can also see it on this shot of Link diving in the third official trailer, as well as on the shot of Link running on the Whistling Hill. We can once again see this tower in the third trailer, on this shot taken from the ruins of Hyrule Castletown, as well as on the one of Link riding Epona while wielding a bow with a ruby fused to its arrow. And on this short video of the Japanese website, we can once again see this tower up close. This tower seems to be replacing the Dueling Peaks Tower from Breath of the Wild, which will uncover the map of East Necluda. Another tower can be seen south of Hyrule Castle in the gameplay presentation, in the location of the Sacred Ground ruins, which seems to be serving as a tower of the top half of Central Hyrule, completing the full area of Central Hyrule with the tower of Lake Colomo. This same tower is later seen marked on the map of this TV commercial. And in this video of the Japanese website, we can see yet another tower right next to Spectacle Rock, atop a cliff on the Gerudo Canyon, close to the location of where the Westland Tower was located. And that's all for the towers we have seen for now, which means that we've yet to see those equivalent to the Akala Tower, the Woodland Tower, and the Gerudo Tower. With all of the towers seen thus far placed on the map, let's move on to these stone shrines with spiraling green energy. The first shrine we see is found on the first official trailer, standing on the cliff close to the Tabantha stable, replacing the stone skull monster encampment and serving the teleportation role of the Shai Loya shrine. While we can't see any other on this trailer, in a higher quality official screenshot of the same shot, we can very faintly see another right here, at the base of the cliffs of Rubara, right next to Lake Illumini. On the second official trailer, we see 3 shrines on this shot. The first one is seen next to the Malice Chasm, close to the Hyrule Garrison ruins on Hyrule Field. It can also be seen from this shot taken from the military training camp, in this shot of Lake Hylia, as well as in this trailer's ending shot. Another shrine is barely seen in the distance, past the ruins of Hyrule Castletown atop the Crenel Hills, near where the Namika Oz shrine was located. And the last one is faintly seen here, found close to the wetland stable in the woods beside it, replacing this large tree, serving as the new travel point instead of the Kaya 1 shrine. We then see another one beside Hateno village, on this cliff close to Jine Woods, replacing the travel point of the Miam Agana shrine. Then, in this shot of Ganondorf shooting his Malice projectiles, we see another one on this cliff, found right under the cliff of Spectacle Rock, replacing the Gino shrine. Then, we have one that is barely visible in the distance, found located close to the peak of Mount Rena. I'd like to thank Zonai Champion on Twitter for pointing this one out to me. Another shrine can be spotted atop the right side of the Dueling Peaks in this gameplay presentation, which we can get a closer look at when Link uses the recall ability. This one appears to replace the Had Dahama shrine as the travel point for the Dueling Peaks stable. Near the end of the presentation, as Link skydives after being pushed from the island, we can once again see another shrine here, found atop the Poplar foothills, right above the Spring of Courage, replacing the Sheikah Shrine as a fast travel location. Once again, thanks to Zonai Champion on Twitter for pointing this one out to me. As pointed out on Twitter by Luffy Fan, there seems to be a shrine on the southern edge of the Lanayru wetlands, which appears to be placed atop a monster encampment, replacing a rock skull encampment from the last game. In the third trailer, we can see a shrine to the right of the shot, located right next to the Riverside stable, standing on the exact same location as the Wahko Kata shrine, which we could also barely see in this shot of Link diving earlier in the trailer. Another of these shrines can be spotted on this shot of Kakariko village, found on one of the cliffs surrounding the village, to the left of Lantern Lake, replacing the travel point of the Talonite shrine. In this shot of Gerudo Desert, we can also spot one of these shrines to the right, found right in the middle of the ruins of Abitus grounds, replacing this central rock pillar, serving as the teleport of this area instead of the Kawakoth shrine. I will also mark the location of the large desert structure emerging from the sands, as well as the large hurricane above Hebra Peak as potential dungeon locations for Tears of the Kingdom. We then see yet another of the Zonai Shrines, located on the other corner of the desert, on a cliff close to the East Barren ruins. Then, in the shot with Ganondorf atop a Zonai structure above the Shrine of Resurrection, we can also get a glimpse at another of the Zonai Shrines, which based on the shot, appears to replace this large tree, found on the cliff near Rota-U Shrine, close to the Dig-Dog suspension bridge. In a Japanese TV commercial, we can also spot a new Zonai Shrine which we could not see in the other trailers, found near the Outpost ruins. Another can be seen past the tower, very close to the Exchange ruins. While it is very hard to see, and it could end up being something else entirely, there does seem to be another shrine on this shot of Link using Ascend on a monster encampment, which would place this supposed shrine on Mount Satori, in relative proximity to the Mog Latan shrine. And in new preview footage, we can also see another shrine here, right beside where the central tower was located in Breath of the Wild. Another can be seen in this shot here, located on this cliff close to Spectacle Rock. Thanks to Limcube for pointing this out to me. While these are all the shrines that we have seen so far, given most of the ones we have seen are close to the stables just like in Breath of the Wild, the other stables and main villages will also have shrines too, either in the same location as the ones from Breath of the Wild, or in the general vicinity, possibly replacing another important landmark from Breath of the Wild like a boss, monster encampment, or Korok Puzzle, but we can't know for sure what this may be. It also appears that these shrines will also be right next to the Malice Chasms, allowing us to fast travel to them and descend to the depths of Hyrule. We then have these large gaping entrances to the underground caverns, seen burning with malice. The first one of these Malice Chasms that we see is on the second official trailer, right next to this previously discussed Zonai Shrine found on Hyrule Field. Later seen again on this final shot of the trailer, as well as the shot of Link skydiving at the end of the gameplay presentation. And in this new TV commercial, this underground shot appears to be right under this Malice Chasm, with the map showcasing this very entrance. The next shot we see is found on the Great Plateau, in the exact same location of the Oman Au Shrine, which we can also catch a glimpse of on this shot of Link using Ultra Hand, as well as in this video shown in a Japanese website. We can also see another located in the Eastern Abbey, with the Jabai Shrine also being replaced by another Malice Pit. On this shot of Link skydiving in the second trailer, we can see another of these Malice Pits, located atop Meda Mountain, which can also be seen in this gameplay presentation when Link stands on the large Zonai platform of the initial Sky Island. In that same presentation, we can also see another Malice Chasm here, located near the outpost ruins, replacing the stone talus that was located here. This one can also be seen during the shot of Link free falling in the third trailer, in this shot of Link atop the stone glider, as well as in this video of the Japanese website. Another can be found here, replacing the large fallen tree right beside Deja Village, which can also be seen in the third official trailer, as well as this short video from the Japanese website. In the third official trailer, we can see another large Malice pit located on Mount Hylia, replacing the Ken Namut Shrine. We can also see another Malice pit on this shot, found on Merkai Island in the Lanayru wetlands. Another can be seen here, in the forest where the Great Fairy Kotera and the Laknaroki Shrine were found, appearing to be replacing both of these structures. On this shot with the giant orb island, we can faintly see this Malice pit, which appears to be in the South Akkala Plains, replacing this blue Hinox. The next Malice pit we see is seen on this shot semi-occluded by many trees, found on Torombo Beach on Eventide Island. We can also see another of these Malice Chasms, found beside Spectacle Rock in this video from the Japanese website, which could also be seen on this shot from the third trailer, and another can be seen here, in the middle of Hylia Island, replacing the Ja Naga Shrine. There is also this Malice Chasm seen here from one of the previews. Like the other three of the Great Plateau, this one replaces the Owadaim Shrine. And with that, we have mentioned all of the Malice pits, but there is also another noteworthy thing to point out in this shot seen in the Japanese website. This large whirlpool found on Lake Hylia, located on the other side of the Great Bridge. Aside from these previously mentioned landmarks, we also have these large, glowing geoglyphs seen scattered across the surface of Hyrule. The first one we see is on the first official trailer, on the North Hyrule Plain. This is later seen again in this shot of Link galloping atop Epona in the second official trailer, as well as on the end shot of the gameplay presentation. Next, we see this one shot at the end of the first official trailer, found on Illumini Plateau, replacing a rare stone talus. This one is clearly representing this woman seen in the final trailer, the same woman we also see depicted on the fresco from the first official trailer. On the second official trailer, on this shot facing towards Hebra, we see another of these glyphs also seen on this shot, located close to Rito Village. This appears to be some kind of Zonai Temple entrance, very reminiscent to the one we saw in the reveal teaser. The next one we can see is this one seen here, found on the side of Lake Hylia. It can better be seen on this shot of Link atop a sky platform in the gameplay presentation, and in the third official trailer, in the first shot, as well as the one of Link sky falling, and on this shot of Link atop a large stone glider, although it is impossible to determine what this glyph is actually depicting. Later in the second trailer, we can see another of these geoglyphs resembling a Molduga, this time next to Batria Lake. This same geoglyph is later seen in the gameplay presentation near the beginning, before Link paraglides towards one of the Sky Islands, as well as near the end of the presentation where Link is pushed off the island by the soldier construct. In the third official trailer, we can see this Molduga glyph as Link dives to the surface, as well as on this shot occluded by the forest near Batria Lake. And in the Japanese website's short video, this Molduga glyph can also be spotted. Near the end of the gameplay presentation, we can barely see a glyph on the side of Death Mountain. This is later seen again on this TV commercial, although it is impossible to determine what it is, so I'll mark it on the map with a yellow dot. We also see a geoglyph on this shot of Gerudo Desert, found under Safia's stable, which appears to be of someone with large horns sitting down, with what appears to be large ears. Perhaps, given the shape of the horns, this could be depicting a large humanoid in Rao, akin to this dragon person from the third trailer. But given what appears to be a beard, this may also be a depiction of Ganondorf's horned demon form as well. We then have this shot from the TV commercial, where we can see Link riding on Epona on this beach of Cape Cresia, where we can see a green glow of a new pattern on the island, which is later seen again on this other shot of Cape Cresia from a different angle seen on the docked Switch screen. With all the glyphs seen thus far placed on the map, let's find all the monster encampments seen in all the footage next. In the second teaser, we can see a monster encampment standing on the top of the Whistling Hill, on this shot of the Stone Talus. Next, we have this monster encampment in the Death Mountain region. I carefully looked around all of Death Mountain to find this location, and the only place that resembles it slightly is this location here close to the Eldin Tower, the shot taken from a now drained Medingo pool. Some of the ground does not match, however, but this could be due to the terrain being modified to accommodate for the new terrain under the lava. If this is the location, the monster encampment will be located precisely over this large footprint, a new structure replacing a prior landmark from the last game, a trend we keep seeing again and again. We then have a skull encampment on this shot of the floating Hyrule Castle, right beside Orset Bridge. We then have this shot of the military training ground from Breath of the Wild, a monster encampment that is making a return. Following this, we have two encampments close by around Navi Lake. First, we have this tall monster lookout post, and on the other side, we have this large horned monster encampment, in the exact location as a skull monster encampment in Breath of the Wild. It appears that monsters expanded this particular encampment and made it larger. This monster encampment can be seen again during the gameplay presentation as Link skydives, where another monster encampment can also be seen, also in the same location as another skull encampment from Breath of the Wild. It seems they just didn't bother to move this one. And to the right of this one, we can see yet another encampment, somewhat close to the one located here in Breath of the Wild. We then have a shot of Mount Rena, where we can see another monster encampment to the right, located on the slope of Elma Knolls. We then see a shot of a monster encampment built on the side of Death Mountain, built on top of a lava flow which is no longer present in Tears of the Kingdom, as the mountain is no longer erupting. Another can also be seen on this exact same shot, located further down the mountain, to the right of Darb Pond. It is in the gameplay presentation that we see yet another encampment at the start, atop this cliff next to Orkul's navel. There is also another encampment close by, which appears to replace this large tree located next to the river with the big twin bridge. We also have an encampment here, where we can see a group of soldier constructs located near this large rock in the Ash Swamp. Another can be seen as Link approaches the Dueling Peaks, right beside this lookout post found in Breath of the Wild, at the other side of the big twin bridge. It can better be seen as Link rises when using the recall power. As mentioned previously in the video, another can be seen close to the Laneiro wetlands, replacing a rock skull monster encampment from Breath of the Wild. Another is also seen at the end as Link lands on the river near Proxium Bridge. This one appears to be located on the East Post ruins. It can also be seen in this shot from the Japanese TV commercial as well. I also noticed that this new structure with wooden planks also appears to replace an older monster encampment that was found here in Breath of the Wild. On this shot of Link running down the Whistling Hill, we can see a monster encampment in the distance, close to the road passing by the bottomless swamp. We can then see another monster encampment located on the East Barren ruins, replacing the 3 skull monster encampments. On this next shot, we can see another monster lookout tower located on a cliff of Yvonne Mountain. And on this shot, we can see yet another monster encampment located on Eventide Island. We then have this shot of Link riding Epona, where we can see a monster encampment located in the Lanayru wetlands, built on top of Banana Island. Another can be seen hiding behind this cliff, which seems to be atop this cliff close to the Zonai Shrine. Then, we see this monster encampment, which is located beside this cliff found beside the north entrance to the Great Bridge of Hylia. We can see another encampment on this shot of Link facing off against a possible goblin, the location of which being on a hill just under Mount Gustav. Then, there is this monster encampment from this shot of this TV commercial, where Link uses Ascend to reach the chest above, located right beside Pagos Woods in a foreign region. And the final monster encampment that we see is in these new preview videos, where we can get a good look at a large monster encampment located right beside what we now know is the Hyrule Field Skyview Tower. Next, we have overworld bosses. In the E3 2021 teaser, we can see a Stone Talus monster encampment which stands next to the road beside the Wisdom Hill. On Lake Hylia, we can also see this large flaming Gleeok, standing on the central point of the Great Bridge of Hylia. Then, we see a Stone Talus monster encampment facing off against Link, right in the Ukuku Plains, beside the East SOCIAL Bridge in the Akala region. This next shot shows Link facing off against another Stone Talus near Loslo Harbor, where Link is seen holding the same cannon weapon we saw him use in the second trailer, also against another Stone Talus within an unknown cavernous location. And thanks to the new preview videos for Tears of the Kingdom, we can also just barely see 3 yellow heads of a Thunder Gleeok right here, located within the Colosseum ruins, replacing the Lynel that was located there in Breath of the Wild. Thanks again to Limcube for pointing this one out to me. And finally, we also have new cave entrances that have appeared on the surface of Hyrule. First, we have this new cave entrance seen in this shot, located on the cliffside of Korta Lake. Then, we have this cave entrance on this shot of Link shooting this flying creature, found on the side of Mount Drena. And finally, we have this entrance to a mine in the third trailer, located on the east side of the Dove Caldera, where in Breath of the Wild it is completely submerged in lava. One last thing I'd like to mention is right here, a stone circle found on the central island of Lake Colomo, confirming the return of Korok Puzzles in Tears of the Kingdom. And with that, we have all the main structures found in all the footage from Tears of the Kingdom revealed thus far. Of course, these are not all of them, not even remotely close, but we can at least get a good idea of a good portion of them. So now, we can at least find these new locations much more easily when the game finally releases. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of future uploads. Also, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram to stay in touch. This has been Zelda Lore, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!